Hello, everyone. Before I begin this ramble, I just want to say today is December 21st, and on December 26th, chocolate is half off. For all of you atheist subscribers of mine, if you can get past the funny wrapping, half off chocolate can be yours. It can bring joy to your life. Anyways, today I want to ramble on about a question that I got from a colleague that I thought was a little strange at the time when I was asked this question, but I feel like I was ready with a pretty good answer because I have some experience in answering that style of question. The question was, why am I in the field that I'm in? Why did I decide to change careers and pursue psychotherapy and, in particular, addiction? Um, so here goes. My readiness with a prepared answer to this partly came from a long history of switching jobs and having to go to job interviews and preparing myself for what questions might come my way. And one of those questions might be, why do you want to work here? You know? And so I was surprised at myself that I rattled off my answer to my colleague's question um, pretty easily. Um, and it starts with when I was a kid, I was interested in all things magic, and as a skeptic growing older, uh, a lot of those different magic things lost their luster, but um, psychology and psychotherapy still, to me, seem magical because you can change a person's life with words. There are formulas to these words, and we know these formulas as psychotherapists. And someone can come into your office, sit down, and then by the time they get up and leave your office, you can have set their course of their life in a positive direction, you know, and save them from a downward spiral. What else in the world can do that, you know? To me, it's still magic. And all of the different schools of psychological theory to me are just like the schools of martial arts. You know, you can get the Wing Chun Kung Fu, you can get the Jeet Kune Do, you can get the Taekwondo, you can get the regular American MMA training, you can get Sambo, um, all sorts of different styles in the world, and some of them have little mystical aspects to them. You know, some of them borderline have like a magical aura to them. But to me, it psychotherapy and all of the different schools of psychology that feed into the techniques that we use, it's very similar. We just fight with words instead of our fists, and I feel like we're not fighting our opponent so much as we're fighting ideas, and these ideas, you know, in some forms of martial arts, they might think that as you ascend the ladder into getting different degrees on your black belt, you're going to like fight demons, you know. And to me, some of the ideas that sit in the chair across from me, you know, on the other side of my desk, some of these ideas are like demons. You know, they are tough to evict from someone's head. like an exorcism, okay? And they put up a fight, you know. I spend a lot of time working with people on ambivalence and lack of motivation and cognitive dissonance and the hooks that these parasitic ideas can have when they're trying to stay inside someone's mind. And I'm getting pretty good at what I'm doing. Um, and I know this from many of my clients returning to thank me, but also from just the responses that I get in the moment. Uh, I'd have to be very vague if I gave you some examples, but one example might be say you got a client that's been to prison, and by virtue of them being in front of you, as an addiction counselor, you know that they've got a problem with some substances. But if you start talking about Pruno, the prison wine that is made inside of toilets, some of them might say, "Oh yeah, I'd never touch that stuff. It's too dangerous because, the recipes they're using can make you blind and it's poison. You should never do that." And client that's in front of you saying that this kind of substance is poison, you should never do it because it'll hurt your life, and then at the same time they're using some other substance that's poison that's hurting their life, as evidenced by the fact that they're sitting in front of you. And to make them realize that it's all poisons, and the same concept of you should stay away from that because it can hurt you can be applied to this other thing that you've allowed to creep up into your life and you've accepted as normal when in actuality it's a poison. That's one kind of cognitive dissonance where people have compartmentalized ideas about similar things that I work with all the time, and recognizing those patterns of when to use that combo, kind of like in Street Fighter where you recognize that somebody likes to jump before they do that sweep kick, and then they'll jump in and then do the sweep kick, and you can time this combo exactly right to catch them to where they can't block, and you can just pow, 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 get them with a combo. That's what I'm talking about. It is something that takes practice, and there are formulas to it. There are certain things to look for in your opponent or your client that you can exploit. And to know these things, to me, is like knowing magic rituals. Only they work. It's not like teenagers drawing pentacles on the floor and at a sleepover and lighting candles and hoping that something will fly off a bookshelf. For me, this is magic that actually works, and I've seen it. I've seen it happen. I've seen people come from the streets and have nothing because drugs left them with nothing. And I've seen them go on to careers that make more money than mine, which is, I'm a little jealous of some of them, but I like what I do. I like the place that I have in life. Many people go through life bumping into other people and not knowing how much of an impact they have on those other people. Because epiphanies happen all the time. You could be just talking to somebody on the subway, and throughout your life, you could have had so many interactions with other people where you've changed them and you don't know. But in my career, I do know. I've seen the exact moments. I create them. And that's why I do what I do.